The Zenith Arms Galactic Weapon Expo was more than just a showcase, it was a bold statement of power. Every year, the galaxy's most advanced civilizations gathered to demonstrate their technological dominance. 8,000 species packed the grand auditorium, ranging from warlords adorned in ceremonial armor to scientists cloaked in shimmering robes of wisdom. The air crackled with expectation, edged with rivalry and arrogance. Humans, however, attended as little more than a curiosity. Newcomers on the galactic stage, granted a token invitation out of politeness, perhaps even pity. To the established powers, humanity represented an insignificant species still fumbling with basic technology, a backwater civilization barely worthy of attention. Their weapons were dismissed as primitive relics, their military strategies, outdated echoes of a barbaric past. No one truly expected humanity to showcase anything impressive. Their presence was merely a formality, a diplomatic gesture allowing the galaxy's elite to appear magnanimous. Human representatives had been slotted near the event's end, when most spectators' attention would already be fading. On the grand stage, each delegation proudly displayed their deadliest innovations. The Zendarians unveiled their graviton disruptor, reducing a formidable battle tank to a mere pea-sized fragment. The Crexians showcased their AI-guided autocannons, precise and lethal. The Viviarinen revealed their terrifying nanodissolution cloud, capable of dismantling targets at a molecular level within seconds. Lastly, the Sirax presented the quantum phase lance, an energy weapon that bypassed shields by phasing through solid matter. The audience roared with approval after each sophisticated demonstration. This was warfare as the galaxy knew it, clean, precise, and elegantly lethal. Then the lights dimmed, and the announcer's voice boomed out with perfunctory politeness. Next, representing humanity, Captain Philip Talon of the Terran Defense Forces. The applause that followed was polite at best, lukewarm compared to previous ovations. Humans were new arrivals, clever perhaps, but backward. The prevailing opinion was clear: humans still played with fire, while everyone else wielded the stars. The thought of them contributing anything meaningful to advanced warfare was laughable. Captain Talon stepped onto the stage with measured strides. Lean, early 40s, his eyes hinted at experiences beyond a single lifetime. His uniform was simple, functional, and bore the marks of countless deployments. Beside him, a team of human soldiers wheeled out a bulky, inelegant device on a reinforced cart. A monstrous chunk of exposed steel, it featured 6 barrels arranged in a circular pattern and an ammunition belt feeding into its base. Its design was raw and mechanical, a stark contrast to the sleek, energy-based weaponry previously displayed. This wasn't a weapon of grace. It was a weapon of brute force. Confused murmurs rippled through the audience. A Zendarian general's mandibles clicked with incredulity. By the stars, is that a pipe organ? No, no, a Crexian burbled, emerald scales glittering. It's clearly a crank-operated grain harvester. Have they mistaken this for an agricultural expo? Laughter began quietly, hesitantly, then erupted with growing confidence. A Sirax technician, crystalline body glowing with amusement, chimed, "Does it run on steam, perhaps? Shall we fetch them coal to keep it running?" A Viviarinen weapons analyst shook his head, body quivering with mere physical projectiles. What are they going to do, poke us to death? A towering Valdurian warrior, dense exoskeleton gleaming, stomped forward with a laugh that rumbled through the floor. This weapon belongs in a museum. Humans truly don't grasp modern warfare. Shields render kinetic weapons useless. Captain Talon's expression remained unchanged, patiently allowing their derision to subside. He had encountered this arrogance before, in enemies who believed their technology made them invincible and allies who underestimated grit and raw firepower. His gaze was steady, cold, and patient. Beside him, the mechanical beast sat quietly, an ancient monster waiting to awaken. The laughter crescendoed freely. A Hurkan admiral, neural implants pulsing disdainfully, sneered, "Perhaps they'll teach us how to sharpen sticks next." "Why so many barrels?" mocked the Zendarian general. "Is one insufficient to fling their rocks?" When their laughter finally ebbed, Talon spoke. His voice authoritative and calm, cutting clearly through the noise. "Gentle beings, may I present the M134 minigun. This weapon fires over 3,000 rounds per minute. That's 50 rounds per second. Its multiple barrels allow sustained fire without overheating, enabling it to continue firing long after others fail." A stunned pause followed, disbelief evident. 3,000, someone scoffed incredulously. "Such excess, why would anyone need it?" Talon offered a faint, humorless smile. "Because sometimes, the only thing that matters is the silence that follows." The murmurs ceased instantly. His chilling words lingered ominously in the air. Talon turned deliberately towards a line of targets arranged downrange. The humans powered up the minigun. A mechanical hum filled the silence, an ominous prelude to destruction. Thousands of eyes fixed on this crude, archaic weapon. Alien spectators watched skeptically, their minds cloaked in superiority. Then, with precise resolve, Captain Talon squeezed the trigger. The minigun roared to life, a deafening, relentless thunder, BRRRRRT exploded from its spinning barrels. This wasn't merely a demonstration, it was a storm of obliteration, a symphony of annihilation. Each projectile struck like a battering wave, pounding targets mercilessly. The air vibrated from its force, the ground shook beneath its fury. The first line of targets, thick slabs designed to withstand small arms and energy weapons fire, was obliterated instantly. Armor peeled away effortlessly, reinforced plating pulverized into molten fragments. The previously mocking audience now stared, jaws slack, eyes wide with disbelief. Silence consumed the room as alien delegates froze, unable to process the sheer, relentless power unfolding before them. It didn't fire in bursts. It poured an endless torrent of destruction. The air shimmered with heat, walls reverberated violently, and the floor trembled beneath their feet. Their mocking laughter had vanished, obliterated at 3,000 rounds per minute. The Vivianen analyst leaned forward, mesmerized, his voice thick with awe. "By the stars, it breathes fire and spits death." Talon stood silently, the monstrous machine beside him still spinning, ready, hungry, unstoppable. The storm raged onward. The second wave of targets was armored with advanced alloys, renowned for resisting plasma bursts and kinetic impacts from powerful energy weapons. However, the minigun rounds had evolved significantly from their early usage on Earth. These projectiles were specially modified, tailored for modern warfare on a galactic scale. As the minigun unleashed its relentless barrage, differences in material resistance quickly became irrelevant. Sparks erupted like fireworks, and targets were shredded instantly. A mist of vaporized metal and superheated air enveloped the stage, the acrid scent of burning metal intoxicating the stunned observers. Then came the third wave, targets protected by sophisticated energy shields, supposedly impervious to even the most advanced kinetic and energy-based assaults. The alien audience watched intently, confident these shields would easily deflect humanity's crude attempt at offense. But as the first rounds slammed into the shimmering barriers, anticipation quickly turned to astonishment. The shields flickered briefly, destabilized by the sheer kinetic force of the relentless onslaught, then abruptly collapsed. Each subsequent bullet sapped away at the shield's integrity, and within mere moments, the previously impenetrable barriers were gone, leaving the targets utterly exposed to the minigun's unyielding wrath. The supposedly invulnerable defenses buckled helplessly under the overwhelming flood of metal and fire. The towering Valdurian warrior stood rigid, his dense exoskeletal armor twitching involuntarily, reacting to some primal instinct awakened by the chaos. His booming voice broke through the stunned silence, reverberating powerfully across the auditorium. The storm raged onward. The second wave of targets was armored with advanced alloys, renowned for resisting plasma bursts and kinetic impacts from powerful energy weapons. However, The minigun rounds had evolved significantly from their early usage on Earth. These projectiles were specially modified, tailored for modern warfare on a galactic scale. As the minigun unleashed its relentless barrage, differences in material resistance quickly became irrelevant. Sparks erupted like fireworks, and targets were shredded instantly. A mist of vaporized metal and superheated air enveloped the stage, the acrid scent of burning metal intoxicating the stunned observers. This is the weapon of a berserker. It does not merely strike, it devours. It demands the battlefield as its feast. He slammed his massive fist against his armored chest in a salute of profound respect. I've known war my entire life, yet never have I witnessed a weapon roar so fiercely. By the stars, I would wield it gladly. As the minigun thundered on, several aliens experienced a chilling realization. The weapon itself was terrifying, undoubtedly, but far more monstrous was the philosophy behind it. Humans hadn't designed weapons to delicately penetrate shields or elegantly bypass defenses. They built them to tear through everything in sight, to overwhelm, to outlast. This wasn't warfare as the galaxy knew it. This was annihilation as strategy. When the barrels finally slowed and the roar subsided into silence, a profound stillness enveloped the auditorium. Smoke curled upward like ghosts, remnants of devastation strewn across the stage in twisted metal and molten debris. Targets once symbols of technological pride now lay as meaningless heaps of wreckage. Captain Talon stood motionless, allowing the catastrophic scene to speak volumes without a single additional word. A Zendarian general's mandibles twitched nervously, multifaceted eyes reflecting the chaos before him. His voice came sharp, precise, like gears clicking into alignment. These force calculations, they're impossible. At this volume of fire, each impact transfers kinetic energy faster than shields could possibly dissipate. The damage exceeds all our predictive models. He paused, staring intently at the smoldering destruction. It is chaos, perfect, calculated chaos. What did you call it? He asked, turning toward Talon. Captain Talon met the general's gaze, his faint smile hardening with cold resolve. The M134 minigun. The general nodded slowly, repeating the name reverently. Minigun. There is nothing mini about this weapon. A broad-shouldered Crexian warrior, shimmering emerald black skin glowing faintly under the stage lights, stared in awe. A single luminescent green tear trailed down his face, voice trembling with deep emotion. Never have I witnessed destruction so absolute, so final. This is not simply a weapon. It is a symphony of devastation. The universe itself shudders at its song. Nearby, the Syrax technician's crystalline body pulsed discordantly, betraying a mixture of astonishment and confusion. Its resonant voice filled the air like glass chimes. It's barbaric, a throwback to an age of stone and fire. The technician hesitated, dimming slightly in contemplation. Yet, there is an elegance in this brutality, no energy calibrations, no phase harmonics, just relentless, unstoppable force. The Hurkan Admiral visibly shivered, neural implants pulsing erratically along her scalp as she struggled to process the aftermath. Her voice emerged softly, a stunned whisper. The noise, the vibrations, they overwhelm everything. Even our most advanced neural systems cannot isolate this chaos. She stared reverently at the silent minigun. It dominates the body, the mind, the battlefield itself. War is not meant to be clean. The typically reserved Zyron strategist leaned forward intensely, segmented fingers drumming thoughtfully against his armrest. Weapons like this defy modern tactics entirely. Shields, cover, they're meaningless. This weapon eliminates precision altogether. It's a call to true warfare. It stirs memories of simpler, brutal battles, where survival depended purely on strength. Talon's voice filled the quiet room, calm yet firm, conveying unmistakable gravity. You build shields to endure battles. You craft weapons for elegance, precision, balance. But we don't play by your rules. He allowed the silence to stretch, holding the audience captive with an unwavering gaze. We don't fight merely to trade blows or outmaneuver. We fight to erase our enemies, to ensure they never stand again. This, he gestured to the minigun, its barrels still faintly glowing, is not simply a weapon. It's a promise. When humanity goes to war, we end it swiftly, completely, without mercy. Talon's lips curved into the barest hint of a smile, one that chilled the spines of all who observed it. Pray you never hear its roar, because if you do, it's already too late. As his words faded, an uneasy silence settled upon the gathering. The gravity of Talon's statement sunk deeply into the assembled delegations, far beyond the overwhelming demonstration of force they'd just witnessed. Alien leaders, moments ago brimming with confidence, now shared a quiet, collective dread. They realized with chilling clarity, humanity didn't see war as they did. This was not conflict as a strategic contest, this was warfare as annihilation, devoid of mercy or restraint. Humans didn't require sophisticated elegance or quantum precision, all they needed was the sheer will to keep firing, relentlessly, until nothing remained. As Captain Talon stepped back into the shadows, the full weight of his demonstration remained a haunting testament of humanity's terrifying simplicity, relentless, overwhelming, unyielding. It was a strategy so foreign, so devastatingly effective, it challenged the very foundations of galactic warfare. The aliens had once laughed. Now, they shared only silence and a profound new fear. As the echoes of Captain Talon's final words faded into silence, the auditorium remained utterly still, as if caught in a moment suspended beyond time. Smoke drifted lazily through the dim lights, the remnants of devastation lying in twisted, smoldering heaps of metal. The targets, once proud symbols of galactic technological supremacy, now stood as ruined monuments to humanity's unrelenting fury. The alien delegates, initially overflowing with arrogant superiority, now grappled with a profound unease. It wasn't merely the minigun's overwhelming destructive power that unnerved them, it was humanity's disturbing philosophy of war. Humans didn't engage in warfare as a dance of precision or elegance, they viewed war as total annihilation. The concept was utterly foreign to them, shattering their long-held beliefs about strength, precision, and controlled violence. The Zendarian general, who earlier mocked humanity's primitive technology, now stood transfixed, mandibles trembling slightly as he processed the shocking demonstration. His multifaceted eyes flickered with something that might have been fear or respect, perhaps both. When he finally spoke, his voice was measured and cautious, utterly devoid of the earlier mockery. The force of this weapon is beyond calculation, he admitted quietly, reluctantly. Our shields, our defenses, our strategies, none accounted for this level of sustained kinetic energy transfer. It defies logic, it is raw chaos, controlled and harnessed. Captain Talon regarded the general calmly, understanding dawning on his face. He offered only a subtle nod, as though the admission was expected, even inevitable. The Crexian warrior, emerald scales shimmering faintly in the dimness, continued to stare in silent awe at the now silent minigun. His voice emerged low, almost reverent. Destruction like this, it does not leave room for negotiation or surrender. This is the weapon of absolute victory or total annihilation, nothing in between. The Sirax technician's crystalline form flickered softly, its voice resonating like distant wind chimes. Our technology always sought harmony, precision. But this weapon doesn't harmonize, it dominates. It renders everything else obsolete through sheer brutality. I see clearly now, humanity's strength lies precisely in this refusal to play by our rules. The Hurkan admiral struggled visibly to maintain her composure, her neural implants pulsating erratically, overwhelmed by the sheer sensory overload the minigun had produced. She finally spoke, voice tinged with reluctant admiration and deep apprehension. Your weapon disrupts more than defenses. It tears through morale, strategy, tactics, it dismantles every aspect of war we've spent centuries perfecting. Humanity doesn't merely change the game, it obliterates the board entirely. The Zyron strategist leaned forward, thoughtful and disturbed. His segmented fingers tapped rhythmically, as he voiced his introspection aloud. This isn't merely a new weapon, it's an entirely new paradigm. Our methods are built around precision, calculated strikes, finesse, but what good is precision when faced with an unstoppable flood? This weapon demands we rethink everything. Captain Talon, listening patiently, finally spoke once more, his voice carrying authority without arrogance. Exactly. Precision, elegance, controlled violence, all admirable qualities, perhaps. But war, true war, isn't about admiration. It's about survival. It's about making sure your enemy never rises again to threaten your existence. He paused, allowing his words to resonate deeply in the heavy silence. Humanity learned long ago that mercy on the battlefield is a luxury we cannot afford. Our history taught us painful lessons about what happens when wars linger, when battles aren't decisive. This weapon ensures there are no second chances. The Valdurian warrior, who had earlier mocked humanity's primitive weaponry, now straightened his massive frame and approached Talon with a solemn reverence. He slammed a fist to his armored chest in a fierce, respectful salute, acknowledging Talon's demonstration as more than mere spectacle. This is warfare in its purest form, he declared loudly, his deep voice echoing through the auditorium. It does not negotiate, it consumes. I have underestimated humanity, but I see clearly now. Your species embodies the primal essence of combat. This weapon, your philosophy, has earned my utmost respect. Captain Talon accepted the salute, nodding solemnly. War is never clean, never elegant. It is brutal, messy, and devastating. Humanity's strength is accepting this truth and embracing it fully. Our technology isn't crude out of ignorance. It is intentionally designed for maximum effectiveness to ensure wars are not just fought, but decisively ended. The Zenith Arms Galactic Weapon Expo had opened with a statement of galactic power. But now, as the delegates stared at the smoking devastation, they understood another truth. Humanity had issued a statement of their own. It wasn't graceful, it wasn't elegant, but it was undeniably clear and horrifyingly effective. From this day forward, the galaxy would remember humanity's chilling philosophy: war without compromise, victory without mercy.